So
You got it. It's
I
interesting.
have a question
You
for
do your
Denise.
homework.
Yeah, I told you I did. I have a question for Denise.
Denise, come. Come here.
So,
What happened here?
uh-oh, I'm here.
I can see myself. I can't
Okay.
see you.
There. Okay, I see. So, Denise, when
Yes.
Lewis said that he wanted to start that he wanted to carry on the tradition and start a cigar company, what did you think at first?
Well, I gotta be honest, he's always um been interested in the business
Okay.
because his father did it prior and with his uncle and everything else. So when we would go to the DR, we would always be involved, but not really in it.
Okay.
Say. So when he decided to do it, it didn't come too much of a surprise other than, the circumstances, which
Mm-hmm.
or you probably you did your research and
Yeah.
a large investment.
Yes.
And but I know my husband
Mm-hmm.
better than anyone other than
Mm-hmm.
his mom, of
Yeah.
course. um and I knew that if this is what he wanted to do, he needed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that if it was going to be successful, then he was the one that was going to make it successful, right? And if it wasn't going to be successful, he was also going to make sure that we were going to be fine.
Yeah.
So I put my full trust in that. So I have to say that I trusted him wholeheartedly when he decided to do it. And I went with my gut, and my gut said, this is what he wants to do, this is what he has to do.
You know the story, obviously, but I came home that night. I flew to Dominican for one night, and I was back the next day, and it was an evening flight getting back home. And I get into bed and I go, "Hey, listen, by the way, my dad's proposed this, and I want to do this." She didn't bat an eye. She said, "You want to do it? Let's do it." I go, "You realize, there's a big expenditure here," and she goes, "I understand.
Yep.
Let's do it." So we did it. We did
Oh.
it, and it was really cool. Um, I can't see you at all, but as long as you can see me, I'm good.
I can see you. I can see you.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I'm trying to fix it for him now.
It's okay. I can hear you. As long as you can see me, we're all good.
Okay. Yeah. So, really just of course, like when you first start out the business, there's kind of ups and downs, and it's just you know, like when you first opened it up, how'd you manage those just ups and downs of the industry when you first
Oh my
started?
gosh, we're still managing them. My hats off to folks who start a brand without a factory. Uh, I think that's such a challenge, right? Because my expenditure on my cigars to manufacture them is cost,
Yeah.
the cost of making them, and that's where we stop. So
Yeah.
the factory doesn't lose money, but it certainly is not gaining any money. It's
Mm.
just kind of breaking even. When people have to buy cigars from the factory and the factory's making a profit, and then you're parlaying that into selling it, and you've committed to 10, 20,000 cigars. So your money's already there at that factory, and the things aren't moving, and you don't have enough salespeople, or the shop owner says, "Hey, listen, I put it on the shelves, no one's buying it," because some shops, I hate to say this, are not very proactive, and so they'll put your brand out there, and they want it to sell as quickly as Oliva does, or
Exactly.
Fuentes,
Yeah.
or Padron does, or et cetera, et cetera. And the consumer's going in, "Oh, what a pretty box," and they move right on.
Yeah.
Uh, that becomes a challenge. It's constantly an up and down, and I think what keeps us grounded, we're very, very, very faith-driven people. My wife and I, without getting into that stuff, we are very much, and I believe that hard work will pay off in the end. However, it doesn't get lost on me that without the factory, it would really, really be challenging.
Mm.
Really challenging. I mean, unless you have really, really deep pockets, it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, in an ideal world, we would have in-house reps in every state, like a General does, and Altadis does, these big boys do, right? No, we have brokers, and our brokers are phenomenal people. They're incredible human beings, but I don't have them in all 50 states, right? So I'm kind of limited. And that sometimes takes a dip in your sales, and you gotta sit there and wade that water until you can swim again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been a challenge. It's an ongoing challenge. Whenever trade shows come up.
Yeah.
So February we had the PCA. I'm sorry, the TPE did very well. Okay, great. Now these shops come in and they buy deep. All these specials are going on. You're getting aggressive. The deals, blah 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 blah. So you know you're going to take a hit in March and April, and maybe even May. And now May rolls around. They're waiting for July for PCA specials.
Yeah.
So now you almost spent half a year based on sold in February because they're saying I'm going to hold off a little bit. You know, that kind of thing becomes challenging. You have to manage your resources. You got to be very careful how you spend, where you invest, how you do it. But it's a cool ride. I mean, it's a cool ride. And then when you hit that home run and someone tells you, I just smoked your cigar for the first time and I really loved it. You get an Instagram message from someone you don't know saying, I just fall in love with your cigar, this and the other, or I saw you in a podcast, decided to try it. It feels really, really good. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's challenging. Yeah. It's really challenging. And that's not just me, it's everybody, right?
Yeah. One thing I learned when I wrestled, my coach used to always say, never ride the highs too high. Never ride the lows too low.
Lows too low. Great advice.
Just stay even.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. Exactly. Just stay the course. You know, he goes, you just had a big win. You just beat the number one kid in the section. Doesn't matter. You got a fish net. You wrestle them all the same. Stay the course. Stay driven.
And I really believe that you stay the course, good things happen.
Yeah.
Hard work pays off.
Yeah.
Hard work pays off. But I don't know. I'm not going to be in that position because we have the factory.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to fork out, double what I fork out for my cigars and then have them falter at shops, or shops say no. Because a lot of times there was a shop I'm not going to mention where the gentleman sold already, and I love him. I visited that shop 6 or 7 times in a different state. I had to catch a plane to go visit the shop. And the guy said no. It was my first stop always in that city with that gentleman. And he would always say no. And like I tell my wife, my friends, you got to dip yourself in Vaseline. Everything slides off. No doesn't mean no forever.
Exactly.
It's just not right now, not right now, not right now, until he said yes. And then we were finally in. And then a few years later, he sold it, but we did well for a while. And we're still there.
Yeah.
However, that's just an anecdote of the challenge that it is. I've gotten to the point now where we are in a position where we can. Before it was all about if you bought 30 boxes at a trade show from me, I was happy to sell them to you because I just sold 30 boxes. Okay. Now I'm going to sit there and say, hey, Innocent, are you sure you want 30 boxes?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's a brand no one knows. You're in, I don't know, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't have anybody there, boots on the ground. Are you sure you want this? Why don't you just start with 4 boxes, see how they move, understand that I can't be there to sell them by hand to anybody. I don't have a broker to come in and sell them by hand to anybody or work the humidor. Buy the 4 as they move. Maybe next time you'll buy 5. Maybe next time you'll buy 7. Maybe next time you buy 8 or 10 or 15 or 20. But we work together.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because if they buy deep and you don't have anyone there representing the brand, what ultimately happens is if that shop owner is not really hands-on, they're going to get angry at you.
Exactly.
This guy told me 30 boxes. They suck. They can't move. Oh, my gosh. And then they go into discount bin and you're done.
Yeah.
They never order again. And I don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at the cash. You're going, 30 boxes. That's a hell of a lot more money than 4 boxes.
Exactly.
Right? 7 times as much. So where do you draw that line? And right now, Alec and I are to the point where we'll tell someone, hey, no, it's way too many. Don't. Slow down. Let's just start with 4.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 if you want to go 1 to show, 1 to go. Okay, I'm good there. Right? But not 30. Don't do 30. but I'm willing to buy 30. That's wonderful. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to want to buy 30. Buy the 30 as we go along. Whenever you want them, I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. And that takes time, that takes patience, that takes a learning curve that I didn't have. I mean, I got into this having factory knowledge, but not experience selling cigars.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a totally
Two different
different
worlds. It's two different worlds.
two different worlds, totally. And so here we are, and it's a challenge. Every day is a challenge. You got to make your own income, which is kind of cool. You also
Yeah.
set your own hours,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
But it's your own income. You're providing for yourself, and so it's easy to sit there and go, "Oh my God, he wants to buy 50 boxes. Let's go." No. Think about the big picture. He's going to be stuck with 40 of these 6
Mhm.
months from now. That's not business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we've handled it little by little. We're very careful. I'm very careful with the business. I handle both entities, the factory and my brand, as two separate entities. So the factory does buy the cigars at a cost. However, I pay myself back at the factory.
Yeah.
That bill is due, and I must pay that bill the way I would pay anything else, the mortgage or
Mhm.
electricity or anything else that I would buy, right? A car payment, it doesn't matter. I pay that religiously. It's the only way to keep the books clean. My dad, the other day, little anecdote, he brings over 100 cigars at factory cost. He brought them on a plane, and these are samples to give out to the brokers and this and the other. He sent me a bill for the 100 cigars. He sent
Mhm.
me the bill for the 100 cigars.
Yeah.
I got the bill and I paid the bill. I'm sending him these heating lamps that we need that I got on Amazon the other day, and I spent X. I sent the bill to the factory for the shipping and the heating lamps. You've got to keep them separate.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and say, I own both things, so therefore I'm just going to go haywire and just buy stuff like that. And that keeps you grounded. It keeps you more careful in how you spend, where you spend, if you spend. So I don't know, man. We're figuring it out as we go. And this year has been a little strange. This year is not like any other year. I thought 2020 was going to be bad. It turned out to be phenomenal. Everybody was sitting at home drinking and
Mhm.
smoking.
Yeah.
But this year the economy is not.
What it
I mean,
was.
it's
Yeah.
not. And the guy that would buy, I talked to shop owners. The guy that would buy the $20 cigar is now buying two $8 cigars and
Yeah.
saving 4 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what's happening. And you roll with the punches. You roll with the punches. So I don't know if I answered your question. I tried to, but
No. Listen, any information you give is great information, and I'm pretty sure anybody that's listening is just taking in everything you're saying. And I think and just getting that inside the business insight. Just being able to understand what goes on behind the glass of just running your own cigar business.
well, one of the issues we just run into, and I'm letting everybody know out here right now, that Cameroon wrapper that we're using for Alex cigars, we won't be able to get that till maybe late next year. There's
Wow.
no more. There's no more. I mean, and I've talked to the big boys.
Yeah.
My father's talked to the big boys trying to get that wrapper. We cannot get Cameroon, and it is not being cultivated anywhere.
Wow.
So we are going to be running out of Sangre Nueva pretty soon. Will I try to pull the wool over people's eyes and come out with, I don't know, an Habano wrapper? Because I'm smoking one right now.
Yeah.
Habano wrapper that looks almost the same.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather tell the consumer, I'm sorry, we can't get the wrapper. You're going to have to wait a year, 2 years, whatever it may be, than try to sit there and change the blend on people. And they go, oh my God, they changed the blend. Who are these people? Blah, blah, blah. And it's a phenomenal seller. We can't keep it on the shelves, or we can't keep it in stock, I should say.
Yeah.
But I'm about to run out, brother. I'm about to.
But you know what?
I've got a few thousand left, and that's it.
You know what? It honestly, like, it's terrible, but it's a good problem to have, because that means it's not sitting.
It is, but it's terrible because part of what we always do at the factory, if you come to make a cigar with me and we sit there at the factory and we blend for a week and you want X, we are able to get samples of X, whether it be filler or binder or wrapper. If I cannot get that consistently, I'm going to tell you, let's not do it, or do a limited run.
Yep.
Because the idea is to keep it going. So we had done our homework and we thought for sure, Cameroon, not a problem.
Yep.
And it turned into a problem.
You know, so one thing you just said is that it always in you know, at least for me, I feel like in the cigar world, it's a money grab, saying, where it says like a limited run, where it's like the Andalusian bull.
Yes.
Somehow, some way it's limited, but somehow some way they're right there. You know, it's like, oh, and what they'll do is I'm pretty sure they have them, and somehow some way they say, oh well, we only have this many boxes, but somehow some way there's another 2,000 boxes floating around, and then they'll say, oh well, the price point went up.
Well, supply and demand, right? And we on our end, and I'll give myself credit for this, and my son and my father and my wife who's involved in this, are limited edition flacos, right? The first ones were launched in 2018, and in that robbery, going back to the sledgehammer story, the boxes were numbered, and so I had no idea which boxes I had received, and were stolen, and which were sold. So because they were numbered and they're very, very unique, I had no idea if Innocent or Matt or whomever had bought box 32, box 35.
You get me in trouble. You have to also say Tony.
Tony's there?
no. Tony's in Boston, but
okay. Well, he's there, like meaning watching, or
Oh,
Tony's
gonna watch.
Matter too.
Yeah, Tony's gonna watch.
Ramaya, right? So I had no idea if we had sold these boxes or not. So we had to completely scrub that project, right? The boxes were gone. I couldn't just come up with the same numbers again because it's not fair to the consumer.
Exactly.
So 4 years later, we came out with the new iteration of the flacos. They were rolled in 2021. This time we made 750 boxes instead of 500, and they are limited. And I've told on a million podcasts, in 4 years, we will launch again. In 4 years, they'll be rolled, and then we launch.
Wow.
I give you my word that when the boxes that we have, like about 150 left or 100 left, whatever it is, thereabouts, or a little bit less than that. When those are gone,
those are gone.
They're gone. They're truly limited.
Yeah.
They're truly limited. I'm not going to be coming out with more of the same. First of all, I can't, because the numbers are there. So if you kept your box and your box at 73, if you see another box 73, you're going, this guy's full of crap.
And then
I lose you forever.
That's the one thing. And that's the thing, because these companies, their boxes aren't numbered. So somehow, some way, magically, two more boxes show up. And you're like, and of course, once the shop owner gets them in, he calls his big boys and goes, hey, I got some bulls. Because those aren't going, I haven't, at least for my experience, I haven't seen anybody sell Illusion bulls in singles.
No, it's only boxes.
It's only boxes. So the second he gets them in like that, and he knows who to call.
And people will buy them. And
exactly.
I listen, God bless them. I mean, I respect them, and Lito Gomez and company and their family. They're phenomenal, and they earned it. And I'll give them this: the people that make our Cuevas core line boxes make the boxes for Andalusia Bull, and the boxes are really quite an issue. And that cigar was so highly rated and so highly regarded, they can't go around selling bundles. It won't work. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I mean this. And I don't know them personally. My dad knows Lito Gomez. I don't know them.
Yeah, I'm not taking a shot at them. I was using them as.
I'm not. Neither am I. Actually, the opposite. I'm giving them their props. Boxes and packaging, which is why I mentioned the new Mandaria Oscuro. Yeah, we have the packaging ready. It's the cigars that are an issue.
Yeah.
That's huge because normally packaging is a problem for me. It's an incredible problem for me. You got to wait 3, 4, 6 months. I'm waiting, by the way. I've been waiting. It'll be June, which is right around the corner. It'll be a year from me waiting for these baggies for 5-pack samplers. I ordered them in June of last year. June, kind of let that sink
Exactly.
in.
Exactly. It's
It's
gonna be
been
a year.
a year.
A year.
A year.
It's not fair. It's not fair to you guys because those baggies are perfect for right there in front, and they're perfect for grab and go. And
And
that's
and
and
that's what I presented as a new project
and the thing too is
in February. I don't have them.
at that price point, man, those are just like you're like, you know what? I need something to smoke. Oh, wow, this price is pretty good. Let me just take it and go.
Yeah, well, the idea, the way we priced them was, and they're not out yet, but if you once they come out, if you buy them, you'll realize that if you buy each stick that's there individually, you're getting essentially a stick for free.
Yeah.
Right? If you do the math, which is what I would do if I found
Yeah.
a 5-pack sampler of anything, I do the math. If I buy all 5 individually, am I spending less money or more money? I'm spending a lot less money. I'm buying one for free. And listen, man, we're at a loss. I mean, what are we going to do? We are stuck. We've come up with a plan B, which hopefully will come to fruition about 2 or 3 weeks. But it still puts me into a year. A year.
Exactly. Which is very frustrating.
It's frustrating. And so, and Illusion Bull, I've seen the boxes being made, and they just can't keep up. Because these people that make our boxes and are making their boxes, make boxes for Fuentes, make boxes for anybody in the Dominican Republic, make boxes for Perez,
Yeah.
Carrillo.
Yeah.
They make boxes for a lot of other companies. So
yeah,
it's tough. It's tough. So I got to give them credit.